There was one particular night as I was recovering from Guillain-Barré that I remember laying in the dark. I was laying in the dark, fighting for my life. This particular night, my vitals were dropping. My heart rate had dropped to 40. And the nurses and the staff were trying to figure out what was going on with me. Why was my stats dropping? Everything was going a little haywire for a moment there, and no one had a clue what was going on inside of me. I lay there in the dark, tears streaming down my eyes, barely breathing, struggling to breathe, feeling the life leaving my body, and I had no control over it. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I was trying my best to make peace with what was happening to me. Lord, if this is the time that I gotta go, then okay, but I sure don't want to leave here. I want to live. No one ever expects things like that to happen in your life. You never expect those things to happen to you. You drive your car every day thinking you're going to return home safe, and sometimes they don't return. You leave your children thinking everything's fine, and one of them becomes missing. Something happens to them. They don't return back home. You go to your job thinking everything's wonderful. You get fired, or they shut the whole business down. You come home one day, find your husband or wife cheating on you, or they're leaving you when you thought everything was wonderful and everything was okay. You go to work every single day only to find out the friends you thought were your friends and co-workers really don't like you anyway. You go to your church and find out that you just don't fit there anymore. People that you thought you could depend on, you told the pastor a secret, confidentiality, and find that he'd been talking to the members behind your back, certain members. Life is so strange, has puzzles in it. You don't know what's going to happen from day to day. You trying to figure this thing out. And as I lay there in that bed, I was doing exactly that, trying to figure everything out. I had no clue what was going to happen to me. It was so unexpected, so looked like I was getting better. But instead, I was actually getting worse. And I had no control whatsoever. What do you do when something like that happens to you? What do you say? Who do you go to? What do you believe? All I remember is telling myself, what do you want to happen? Are you going to give up? Should you give up? Maybe you really are tired. Maybe it is really your time to go. Oh, I was questioning everything. I was trying to make peace because I didn't really want to be fighting with God about it. But then I was like, but he said that I can live. I can live for a long time. I can have a long life. And so all those confusing thoughts had me confused. All those chaotic talks with myself had me chaotic. But there was something inside of me, this still small voice that spoke to me and said, ye shall live and not die. See, God speaks that in his word. So when Corona came into my life and into your life just like Guillain-Barré did. Wasn't expected. I didn't know it was coming. If you would have told me it was coming way before now, I wouldn't have ever thought it was coming. I would have thought that maybe you was just talking, maybe, possibly. It made me scared on the inside to be laying in a hospital bed, no one there in the dark, thinking that this is it. I had so many other things that I could have been doing at that time. I blame myself. Why did you take the shot? I went through all the reasons why I could have probably avoided this thing. But you really think about it, I really couldn't have. I was just living life. I took a shot because it was mandatory to do. I was trying to follow the rules and regulations of the medical board. I was trying to do what I thought was right. I was living my everyday life normally until this thing suddenly came and paused it, halted it. What do you do when something like that happens to you? You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what you're going to do. You weren't prepared for it, so what do? Let me tell you what you do. You maintain as usual. If your faith is not strong and is weak, then use this opportunity to build it. See, God says that He will never leave you or forsake you. So that means He got you, right? So whenever you start to feel panic like I did that night, I put my trust back in God. I was trying to trust my own thoughts, my own feelings, my own control over what I thought I could control. But I realized it didn't matter how much I was trying to fight it. My own strength, using my own strength, my own thoughts and understanding. And I was trying to question everything and trying to give my own self answers. When things that are out of your control happen to you in your life, you have to let it go. You have no strength to do this. Like, it's just impossible. You're going to run yourself ragged, So, I want you to just stop. Give yourself some peace and just stop. Because this thing that's going on with you in your life, this ain't about you. It ain't about nothing. This is about God and what He is about to do in this world and in your life. Use this opportunity with Corona, just like I used with Guillain-Barré. I allowed Guillain-Barré to teach me how to walk in faith for real. I had no other choice. God was my only source and resource. He's the only one that got me through that. No matter how many books I could have read, how many messages I could have heard, every song I could have heard, it didn't matter. At the end of the day, the one that stood strong in my life was God. I believed that He had control over everything. And if it was my time to go, then it was my time to go. But if I asked, like He said in the Word, whatsoever ye shall ask in prayer, believing ye shall receive. When I decided to connect with that for real, He said whatever I can ask, I can have it. I can receive it. So today I ask that you receive this message. The message of faith. If you've lost your faith, I recommend that you pick it back up. Pick it back up and know that God has everything under control. And baby, He got you. You gonna be all right. So, you get a little scared because when I was laying in the hospital bed, people were dying. It wasn't from Guillain-Barré, but they had cancer. People had symptoms and complications from other diseases and just passed away in the hospital. And I didn't know for sure if I was going to be one of them. So yeah, people are dying around you. This is true. Things are happening. People are getting sick around you. God will keep you. See, I wanted God to take care of me. I remember when I was going to take the shot, I was a little apprehensive about it. And I had to make a decision toward the last part of it. And when I made the decision to go ahead and take the shot, I asked God one thing. I said, God, I have to make a decision. So I want to abide by all the rules. So I'm going to go ahead and take the shot, the vaccination. I want to be in accordance with the guidelines and policies that they put in place. And I did it. But I told God before I did, I said, just God, please protect me. Take care of me. Now, him taking care of me in my head was, don't let nothing happen to me. But something happened to me. I still ended up crippled. I ended up paralyzed. I ended up fighting for my life. I didn't know whether I was going to live or die. I know I wanted to live. I know I didn't want nothing to happen to me, but something was happening. So there are things that God allowed. It's just going to happen anyway. But you have to understand where your true strength will come from. He did protect me. Although in the beginning I thought maybe he didn't. But he did. So through this coronavirus, God will take care of you. Even if you've gotten sick, believe in your heart that God will take care of you. He will give you the wisdom and the knowledge. He will give you divine intervention. Something that he could be able to take care of everything. Don't doubt him. Don't give up on him. He's still in the business of healing. He's still in the business of protection and safety, security. He's still in the business of doing exactly what he do. He specializes in the impossible. There's no way that I should still be here right now, walking, living and breathing like a normal human being. The thing I fought the hardest to do was to live and not die. You are on God's list. You are special and cared for and loved by God. You are his child. He got you. All you gotta do is believe. And as I tell you my story, continuously over and over and over again, I do it because I want you to experience hope. That there is hope, even when you feel like it's not. It feels like it just ain't gonna happen for you. Things are just horrible in your life. And this pandemic that's going on around right now, and everybody's finding all these stories. You're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, you all on Twitter, you everywhere, trying to find an answer on the news and internet. You're trying to find an answer, a cure. Ooh, I don't want it to get to me. Sometimes things are going to happen to you. And I'm not trying to scare anybody about, oh God, so that means I have no control over it. There are some things in our life that we have no control over. As I stated earlier in the examples that I've given. There are things in your life that you have no control over. But if you put your trust and your faith and your confidence, complete confidence in God, he will take care of you like he did with me in Guillain-Barré. And I was struck with that disease twice. I was fighting for my life twice. So I believe that like all the other things in my life that God has protected me from. He protected me through Guillain-Barré. He didn't protect me from it. He protected me through it. God will protect you through whatever is coming. You can bet on it. This has been a kindness moment from Lady Dr. P. Be strong in your faith. And I'll see you again on the next round. God bless you.